Well, we're going to go ahead and get started. Let me first of all welcome everyone on the line with us today. Wish you a pleasant good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are in the country. Thank you for taking the time today to be on this conference call with us. Today, my name is David Tarr. I'm the Vice President of Franchise Development for Liberty Tax Service, and I am pleased that you're joining us today. Today, we want to tell you how you can generate more revenue in your existing office by adding a tax service. And we'll not only tell you kind of how to do that, we're also going to let you talk to some industry experts as well. We have several guests with us today. You may have seen us in the Insurance News Net magazine in May of this year. We ran, and as a beautiful picture of our two franchisees that are on the line with us today, William Daniels and Dennis Pryor. We also have Emily Holbrook with us today, and we're going to start off in just a few minutes with Emily. But first of all, why are we talking taxes, and why are you hearing from Liberty Tax Service? Liberty Tax Service is a 20-year-old brand now. We're very well established within the tax industry. We're the top three of the tax industries or tax preparation firms across the country. Obviously, H&R Block is the biggest in the industry. That's kind of the pink elephant in the room, if you will, and or the 100-pound gorilla, whatever you want to say. But we have the same model. We do taxes for individuals as they come in. What we found out, we constantly study our database of franchisees. We look at who's successful. We look at the demographics. And when we looked at some of our most successful franchisees, we found out that a great deal of them were in the insurance industry. So as an additional business, it certainly works very well to offer offer tax service in your insurance office. And we're going to be talking today, again, to some experts that are with us and franchisees that are not only talking about it like I am, but franchisees that are doing it. And I think that's very important because, you know, we can tell you a lot, but if you're hearing from somebody who's growing their insurance business as they're growing their tax business, growing their tax business as they're growing their insurance business, I think it lends a lot more credibility. And certainly for you, it gives you that firsthand account of what's taking place. With that said, just a bit about myself. Like I said, I'm Vice President of Franchise Development with Liberty Tax Service. Been in the business for over 13 plus years now. Have consulted and sold well over 1,000 franchisees that I've directed and seen come in. And basically what I do is education, qualification, and onboarding of new franchisees. I get to public speak a lot, which is something I really enjoy doing. I'm the brand evangelist. I go out and tell people about this exciting opportunity from coast to coast in Canada. From 24/7, I'm on to talk about Liberty Tax Service. And really, I specialize in cross-market opportunities. And that's where we not only pick up folks that are already in the tax industry or maybe in a related financial industry, but we also come to insurance agents as well, CPAs, various other sectors in the market that work very well and offer an additional revenue stream for those that want to get involved with it. As you can see by the picture, I lost my job with as a Calvin Klein model, so I've had to do this. But a little bit about just a legal statement that our lawyers, they like to stay busy. So we just have to put this out that this is not intended as an offer or solicitation to buy a franchise. We're just going to tell you about the business as we go along today. So like I said before, our expert panel today, Emily Holbrook, former editor-in-chief of National Underwriter Life and Health and Retirement Planning Magazine, William Daniels and Dennis Pryor, both franchisees with us. So we're going to kick off today, just talk to a little bit about what the current state and some of the challenges in the industry right now in the insurance industry are. Let you hear from our franchisees and about their experiences and what it's been like to grow their insurance and tax business hand in hand. Why insurance and taxes work together, how you can get started, and then at the end, we're going to throw it open for questions. So first up today, Emily Holbrook. Emily has been in the industry now for over 10 plus years. Obviously, like I said before, former editor-in-chief of National Underwriter Life and Health and Retirement Advisor. She's currently the owner of Red Label Writing, and she has had her thumb on the pulse of this industry now for over 10 years. So we're blessed to have an industry insider with us today. Emily, thank you for being here.
Hey, good morning, Dave, and thank you so much for that kind introduction. It's good to be here to talk about the industry and its many challenges and how agents can think basically beyond insurance.
Well, again, it's great to have you. I'm sure you can help us both understand what the industry looks like now and give some understanding to the situation that as it is right now in the industry. Talk to us a little about the state of the industry and some of the challenges you see. Yes, challenges you see right now. One of the things that I've heard a lot is that commissions are a big issue right now in the insurance industry.
Yeah, I think that maybe is an understatement. They're a huge issue right now, Dave. Since the ACA became a law, commissions for insurance agents have plummeted by about 50% in the small group market. And that's mostly because the medical loss ratio, or MLR, says insurers must spend 80% of premiums on medical claims.
Wow, so commission slash 50%, that sounds pretty serious. I'm thinking, I'm not an industry insider, but again, I'm thinking that hurts the small guy's bottom line.
Yeah, absolutely, it does. But unfortunately, that's not the end of the story. Big insurers like Cigna and Aetna have announced that they would offer no commissions for 2017 for agents enrolling people in health insurance in many states. No commissions despite all the work that goes into helping people sign up for health insurance policies. And the issue, in fact, is so serious that the Georgia Insurance Commissioner sent a letter to Tom Price, the head of Health and Human Services, and asked that reduced commissions be removed from the ACA. He noted that some commissions have been slashed from 10% to $10, so it's a dire situation.
It really is. Now, commissions are a serious issue right now. Certainly, we understand that. But what is this disruptive technology thing, and can that really kind of affect the smaller agencies pretty hard, I would think? And maybe you can explain that a little bit, the disruptive technology piece.
Yeah, this is something I love writing about and researching. Disruptive technology is a big deal. A firm called CB Insights tracks technology investments in the industry, better known to us as Insurtech. CB Insights found that more than 82 investments, there were more than 82 investments in the insurance startups in the first half of 2016 alone. And those investments totaled more than $1 billion. So that's huge money. The startups affect every segment of the industry, but naturally the small agencies are particularly vulnerable. And these agencies, they must find ways to match or exceed the value proposition offered by the technology players. At the same time, they have to retain client relationships and risk management that form the heart of the independent agency. So it's a juggling act that can be challenging, to say the least.
Wow. So when you add the reduced commissions, you really see how challenges could make insurance agents probably just want to bag it and kind of hang it all up.
Yep, absolutely. It's interesting you say that, though, because an AFLAC study a couple of years ago found that about half of the agents and brokers it surveyed were considering leaving the business. 2/3 said many of their peers had already left.
So leaving isn't the only option, though. They should probably consider, additional ways to retain the clients.
Right, absolutely. They should. So insurance agents and brokers who look beyond insurance to areas such as taxes or tax planning can find new ways to build revenue, which is very important right now.
Absolutely. Well, that's a perfect segue into our second guest. We have Mr. William Daniels on the line with us today. William, welcome.
Awesome. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of the call today.
Absolutely. So with all the changes and challenges out there, what we're asking is, how do you grow? How do you provide a complimentary service that can add value, grow your client base, and provide additional income? And that's exactly what William's done. William's been with Liberty Tax now for 15 plus years. He's what we call an old timer in the system. You see a little gray in his beard there, but William's currently an independent agent. He was with Allstate for over 10 years. And William, tell me why Liberty worked for you.
Okay. Well, like I said, I don't know if you've seen my article or you've read my article or saw the video that was put out about me, but I literally started from nothing with nothing. I had no business experience. I had very little money in my pocket, basically just a desire to do business for myself. My background is kind of in the correctional field. I was a correctional supervisor for many years, and I kind of knew that I wanted something different, so I began researching business opportunities, and I found Liberty Tax Service and kind of did my due diligence, and I saw that they were affordable. They were a seasonal business. I could keep my my regular job until until I was able to grow my business. And then so I jumped on a plane, flew out to Virginia Beach where I met John Hewitt. And so at this point, almost 16 years with Liberty Tax Service. And I'm proud to say I'm a member of the Liberty Tax $1 Million Club. And I plan to be here as long as you guys will let me.
That's awesome, man. We want you there for a long time. Now, William said he's a part of the $1 Million Club. So the $1 Million Club in the Liberty Tax Service world is once a franchisee's revenue hits $1 million in revenue, we put them in what we call the $1 Million Club. So it's a way that now, because William's in a different phase of business, he's in a what we would call maybe a larger franchisee role. He has to worry about things like infrastructure and how to grow those. Liberty Tax gives guidance and gives structure to him and helps him through training, through webinars, through phone calls, through all different things to help him now grow his business. So that's one of the ways we support our customers. Now, William, if you will, talk about your clients, because I know you got into taxes, then you went into insurance. Once you were in insurance, what was the back and forth like between tax customers and insurance customers?
Really, it kind of became kind of a no-brainer, you know. Trust is crucial. I found that in the tax business and in the insurance business, establishing relationships are absolutely critical to your success. And so, you know, these customers, both our tax customers, our insurance customers, they have to share the most sensitive of information with you. That literally, you know, their socials, their driver's license, their addresses, their kids' information. So I found that, you know, once you can establish those relationships, it became a no-brainer. Those two fit hand in hand, the insurance world and the tax world.
Right. And then talk about the additional cash flow from your insurance customers into the tax business and vice versa from your tax business into the insurance business.
Okay. Like I said, I think, like I said, the key was just establishing those relationships. You know, someone can literally walk in your office today and, you know, you finish up you take their insurance payment and you say, oh, hey, by the way, can I schedule you an appointment tomorrow to do your taxes, and vice versa. I can literally write them an insurance policy today and do their taxes tomorrow. So, like I said, they trust you, and one of the things that I found is that once they trust you, they're more likely to stay with you and hang with you and to be there. And of course, in the insurance world, we know how crucial it is to retain your customers. And so I found that, you know, keeping by having both businesses together, keeping my customers became a whole lot simpler proposition.
Right. And like I said before, we know that in retaining customers, it's the additional services. If you as an agent can provide additional services to your customer, the more likely you are to keep that client for a longer period of time, which William has demonstrated. Now, the next slide is kind of over. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, and I was going to say, and there's not a lot of cost involved. I mean, you don't have to go out, you know, and spend a lot of money buying leads like we often do as insurance agents. You don't have to go out and spend a lot of money on, you know, high-dollar marketing campaigns. I mean, it's literally pick up the phone and call an already warm lead and say, hey, can I can I sell you an insurance policy? By the way, can I schedule your tax appointment? So it's really simple to get those once you have a warm lead already.
Very good, and that's a perfect transition into this next slide because this is a pretty overwhelming statistic. 25 new insurance policies per month from your tax customers. Explain that a little bit to the other agents on the phone with us today.
Okay, yeah. I once at one point I left Allstate, but I kind of followed John's lead when the ACA started. John literally told us that ACA was going to be a game changer. So I went in and created an independent insurance agent, began selling marketplace insurance, of course, until it took a pretty drastic downfall. So we literally went into doing property and casualty, commercial insurance, and life insurance. So we are actually averaging right now about 25 new insurance policies per month directly from my tax business. Again, we don't have to do a lot of cold calling. We don't have to buy a ton of leads. We don't have to spend thousands of dollars marketing. It's just asking our existing customer base, can we offer you a policy or can we do your taxes? So it's pretty simple.
That's fantastic.
Okay.
That's fantastic, and that's a good segue. William, thank you for being with us today. We're hoping you'll stay online with us. We may have some questions for you at the end. But again, you as an insurance agent on the line with us today, just think about what he just said. 25 new insurance policies per month just from your existing tax customers. And guess what? As you grow your tax business every year, your insurance business is going to grow along with it. So you have this multiplicity now of two businesses instead of one. For those of you who don't own your leads, you may be in an agency where you don't own your clients, So this is a chance to now build equity in a business and own those clients from just the tax side of the business. So it's a multi-pronged attack, but it's a way again to grow your revenue. We also have with us today, very happy to have and blessed to have Dennis Pryor with us. Dennis is was with Farmers Group for over 20 years and Allstate for 3. He's currently an independent agent. He's got 10 locations in 11 years. Dennis, welcome today.
How are you, David?
I'm doing great. If you can, Dennis, just tell us a 30-second snippet of how you got involved with Liberty Tax Service and that story of getting into the tax business.
Sure. I was actually sitting in my insurance office. Like I said, I've been in the insurance business since 1983. I'm with a farmer's agent, and I was looking for a way to offer additional services and products to my existing book of business, my customer base. So I did a Google search. I mean, that's what we do these days. Went on Google and searched franchise opportunities. Liberty Tax was one of the top 10, had good reviews, and most of all, it had Mr. John Hewitt, the godfather of income taxes. He's probably got more experience than anybody still actively working in the business, so that got my attention. So I called Liberty and a couple other franchises, and I just felt right about Liberty, and it seemed to be a perfect fit. So here I am 11 years later.
Well, we are very glad that you found us and you have stayed with us for 11 years. That's awesome. Now, you mentioned a couple of things in the conversation, and they were in the insurance article in the Insurance Newsnet magazine. Talk us about the startup cost. You just said, hey, it was the right cost, and then talk to us about the support that you've received so far.
Sure. I didn't really have any cost as far as fixed costs, because like I say, is everybody that's listening that's an insurance agent, if they already have an office, they already have all that covered, the rent and the utilities. None of that is going to increase just because you offer another service to your clients. All I had to do was put in a phone line and basically get trained to feel comfortable offering it to my customers, and then be able to train my staff and get started. Like I say, it really wasn't much to it. Like as William said, I mean, you don't have any marketing expense because you're working with customers that already trust you, all insurance agents know, the more pieces of business you can get in a household, the longer that customer will stay with you. And I looked at the taxes as just another piece of business, not just auto, home, life, which is what all agents are preached to get. I mean, this is taxes as well. And I mean, tax customers seem to me to be as loyal, if not more loyal, than insurance customers. And then, like I say, then the structure, as far as the support, I mean, not only do we have the entry-level training with Liberty Tax that honestly is a little overwhelming, because you get a lot of stuff, because I've never been in a tax office in my life. My CPA had always done mine. He just come by and picked up my books and took it and told me how much to pay. So I didn't know anything about it. Never been in an H&R Block or Jackson Hewitt or any of the other franchise types at all. So and I didn't know what to expect, but it just looked like a good opportunity and a great fit for me. And it turned out to be one of the few good decisions I've made. So I felt good about the support I got after my training, because I had home office to be able to call, and I have an area developer. Every franchisee has an area developer that works closely with you, as well as I had some what we call Top Gun Liberty franchisees that were already had the experience, and they were happy for me to call them anytime and help me out. So it's just been a great experience, and now I'm trying to do the same thing for other new franchisees.
Excellent. And that certainly goes without mentioning, because having the support of your local franchisees is kind of unique to our business. I know in some businesses, and it may be like this in the insurance agency business, where you're competitive with the guy across town. We have more of a family atmosphere, so it's kind of, hey, I've got a sick preparer. Do you have any extra preparers? And you can call that franchisee in the neighboring town or the neighboring territory. And once you get to know them, you'd be surprised how much back and forth there is, and how much help and support just from your fellow franchisees. Plus, there's somebody there who's already been there and done that, and that's kind of the beauty of the whole thing. So, Dennis, how did Liberty and doing taxes affect your business?
Oh, it's fantastic. It was perfect. My customers were very receptive to it, because, like William stated earlier, when you do someone's taxes, you have most of their personal information and confidential information. You have basically the same thing when I come at it differently. I was insurance and went to taxes instead of taxes to insurance. But as an insurance guy anymore, we run credit scores, so we have to have their social security numbers as well. So it was already there. And all I did was say, look, we're in full lines insurance agents now. We're offering taxes now. When taxes come up, we appreciate if you come out and let us just give you an estimate. No harm, no foul. If you don't want it, we just want to show you we know how to do that as well as we did the insurance. And if you're happy, then hopefully it'll stick. And we had good results with that. They were happy to do it in one place and not have their business all over town as far as, their proprietary information.
Sure. Now, it says on the slide, it says you retained 80% of your insurance clients because of the tax business. It helped?
That's correct. Yeah, I see. What I noticed, our retention was always fairly good, but it was up and down. Carriers in the insurance industry drive that. You either have the rates or you don't, depending on how many appointments you have. But what I noticed that the taxes did is stabilize that. It got us to a level, and then we kind of plateaued, and we just maintain that now. So 80%, we just don't worry about it. If we know they're coming sometime during tax season, they're going to come, and then we talk to them in the off season as far as their taxes as well. So that keeps us in contact with them year round.
Right. Now, the next two numbers are just overwhelming to me, because I talk a lot about insurance and taxes being a symbiotic business. The one business can feed off of the other business. The tax business feeds off insurance, and the insurance feeds off the tax client. So the next line says that you converted 1,500 insurance clients to tax clients.
That's correct.
How easy or hard was that?
Like I said, it was just a conversation, basically what I just told everyone. All we did was just let them know we had the service. We put out the effort to get ourselves educated to do taxes, and we look forward to trying to do additional business with them. I mean, try to be a one-stop shop. I mean, because everybody needs to have a niche if you can find one, and that was kind of ours.
Now, the next number just blows me away because converted 2,900 tax clients to insurance clients. How profitable was that for you on the insurance side as well as the tax side? I mean, that's got to be just crazy to you.
It's incredible. I say that, and let me tell it for the insurance guys listening. They're like thinking this guy is insane, but I'll explain this. I mean, we do about 4,000 tax returns a year out of my 10 offices, which is we're not stellar, but we're steady as she goes. So, I mean, we were able, and that is basically about 2,600 of those we did in 2 months. Those are healthcare clients because of the Affordable Care Act. I mean, so when you're doing taxes, anybody that's had their taxes done knows that question comes up now. It asks you, did you have insurance all year long? And if you didn't, this is what your penalty is. So at that very point, we would just take the initiative and say, your penalty is going to be this because you didn't have it every month, even though you may have had it a few months. They're penalized for the months you don't have it. So this is what the government says you're losing of your refund. We can help you make sure that does not happen next year. Fill out this quote sheet for me while you're sitting here getting your taxes done. And as soon as I finish with you, we'll take you over to the insurance desk and see if we can't take care of this for you. So it's a simple transition. It's just a matter of training and taking advantage of the opportunity is sitting in front of you.
Amazing. Now, you said you did 4,000 tax returns. If you don't mind me asking, what's your average net fee per return?
272. We grossed about 1.4 million.
1.4 million. So for those of you on the line, $1.4 million, and some of these are already in existing offices, so overhead is super low.
Yes.
Imagine just for a minute what the profitability on that is. That's pretty amazing. Dennis, thank you so much for your time today. Hang with us on the line, though, because when we open it for Q&A at the end, I'd love to have you there and
Sure.
And maybe answer some questions for the agents if they have questions. So, again, one of the things that Dennis said was the overhead piece. A lot of you already have the existing office. This is an additional revenue generator. And it really happened as a result of the intersection of taxes and insurance. The Affordable Care Act, when it was introduced in 2010, was very confusing. There was a shared responsibility payment that was due at the time that you had to do at the time that you did your federal tax return. You had to pay that if you didn't buy coverage, and it created a lot of confusion in the industry. People are confused beyond. The president just signed an executive order to kind of unwind some of those issues, but people that just creates more confusion and requires a need for help on those parts of your clients. So, what are my fees? Am I exempt? How do I get insurance? How much do I owe? So why the tax industry? A lot of people don't know this, but 60% of all filers who file a tax return paid a professional to do that in 2016. This is a $10 billion a year industry, and it's expected to grow through year 2021 based on IBIS World survey, and certainly we want it to grow far, far, far beyond that. There's been a lot of clamorings and rattlings about, they're going to simplify taxes, they're going to do those things. And really our CEO, John Hewitt, who Dennis mentioned earlier, 48 years in the tax business. I can tell you that in his 48 years, he has not lost any sleep over simplification of the tax world or changes to the tax industry, because he knows where there's simplicity, there's actually a lot of complexity. So if we went to a flat tax, you've got poor people now and underadvantaged people that they pay nothing right now. 43% don't pay taxes. So they're not paying anything. They certainly don't want to step up and have to start paying. So the growth in this industry is for a long time. Any simplification of this industry adds to its complexity a great deal. So what are the benefits of adding a tax business to your agency now? Well, certainly the three things that I think are foremost on every insurance agent's minds. It's clients, referrals, and revenue. So the first thing we talked about with our two franchisees is that by providing the additional service, you improve your retention rate. Dennis is retaining 80% of his customers right now, his insurance customers, because he's offering the additional services. And it's another touch point with your customer. It's another way to monetize that relationship, increase the referrals. Everybody has to do a tax return, and that's the beauty of it. It's kind of death in taxes, if you will. You know, how many more referrals would you get in the insurance business if you started doing taxes for new customers? And new customers certainly are driven by the fact that now your insurance clients are going out and they're saying, hey, you know what, my insurance agent did my taxes for me, did a great job. You know, here's what I got back, or here's how little I owe, or whatever that situation is. That's going to seed new customers for your business and certainly drive more revenues for you. You know, everybody wants more income and equity. Equity is always the overlooked piece in the industry and in owning any business. You know, if you look at the Forbes 400 richest people, they don't make a big salary every year. They have equity in business. So also we know that existing customers are 14 times more likely to buy because they're already doing business with you. So again, we go back to the equity piece. And that was based on an Amazon book listed on Amazon. It's called Marketing Metrics. It's a very well-read book for those who do marketing in the industries. But equity is peace of mind for you. Equity is what grows value in the business. And this is, again, you know, it's something that you already have the customer, you already have the location. This is about cross-selling. And, you know, once you're in the insurance business, call all your insurance clients and tell them, hey, we now have taxes. It's kind of like going to McDonald's and, you know, it's very easy to say, would you like fries with your hamburger? Would you like a shake with your meal? Would you like a Coke with your meal? It's just an additional sell, a cross-selling opportunity. Email your customers. Tell them, hey, you know, we've got templates that you can email out to them. Let them know you now offer tax services. Very simple, low-cost ways to market. And one of the biggest new things that we do is we're holding tax seminars, and we call them tax talks. And you can bring your insurance clients in and talk to them. We have pre-made scripts. We have pre-made seminars that you can do, tax talks that you can do, and you can talk to your existing clients about tax-related subject matter. So these are things that, you know, first homes, additional homes. If you live in an area, you know, and you're near the coast or you're near the mountains and people have second homes, the advantages and disadvantages of second home. You can talk to them about family planning and how are your tax situation going to change as you have children, and as you grow your family, or as you get close to retirement. We have these packages already made. You hold a seminar for your existing clients, and boom, now you've got people that want to come in, they want to learn about taxes. Plus, we teach so much more than that. Again, this is about, you know, additional businesses, additional revenue generators. So why a franchise? Well, you know, there's four hallmarks to a successful franchise business, and you see them on the screen there. First of all, top leadership. You know, without leadership, you're kind of a ship with no rudder. John Hewitt, our CEO and founder, has been in the industry 48 years. He was also the founder and CEO of Jackson Hewitt Tax Service, which he sold in 1997 for $483 million. 7 years later, became a billion-dollar company. And John was a regional director for many years, 12 years at H&R Block Tax Services. So John has founded 3 of the top 4 tax tax companies in the business today. With leadership like John has been able to not only steer the ship, but John has seen the industry trends coming and been able to react to them as we saw it. When ACA first came out, boom, it changed a lot of things. It was that intersection of taxes and insurance again. But when ACA kind of, you know, imploded, we were able to go on and do other things because of the visionary leadership that John provides. Secondly, you have to have a strong system. You know, what does the system do for you? It eliminates all trial and error. There's no trial and error into joining a franchise system because that's already been done for you. The franchisor hands you a system and says, do this on Monday, this on Tuesday, this on Wednesday, and so forth. And all you have to do to be successful in our system or any franchise system is listen and follow the system. Now, most of you may work for large national brands of insurance now, or franchise brands, what have you. So you understand the value of having that strong system. There's nothing you have to invent. There's no innovation necessary. You just take the system, plug yourself into it, and start doing the business from day one. There's support there for you. There's training there for you, and there's also system guidance. So by support, 24/7 during the tax season, you can call somebody with a tax question, you can chat with somebody online with a tax question, or you can email. There's training for you. Not only do we give you your initial owner-operator training, teaching you how to be the CEO of the Liberty Tax system, the Liberty Tax business that you own, but we also provide ongoing training because taxes change every year, so we provide update training every year. Our system changes every year in the fact that we have to keep up with the IRS. So we provide those changes to you each and every year through webinars, through in-person trainings. We offer trainings for large franchisees, small franchisees, and pretty much everything in the middle. And then the guidance. One of the big things is that when you come into a franchise, a lot of people come in and they say, hey, I just want to buy one and put it in my existing insurance office. Well, that's great. But what happens a lot of times is once they've grown that tax business in that one office, like Dennis and William could tell you, they soon see that owning more Liberty Taxes could be another great way to not only, make a little additional revenue, but make a whole lot of revenue. And that becomes the great opportunity. Thirdly, you have to have great marketing. We fortunately are an icon in this industry the way we market. And our hallmark to all of our marketing is really grassroots campaigns. We're on the street marketing. A lot of people, you've seen our waivers out in front of the building. Now, for a lot of people on the line, we're probably upper class. I don't know where you are, but you probably own your own business or you're working in a large or small, medium-sized agency. You have success. You're out there making your way in life and owning your own business right now. This is another way that we can teach you that you don't have to take a lot of money to go out and make a large impact in your market the way we market. The Wall Street Journal even said that we were the very best at guerrilla marketing. Guerrilla marketing is low-cost, no-cost ways to advertise your business. Now, again, most of you see our waiver and you think, hey, that's not for me. But again, we serve the lower 80% of wage earners in this country. The top 20% always kind of swim with the CPA crowd, but that lower 80% of wage earners, that's our market. They see that waiver out in front of that store, and they know instantly that there's a Liberty Tax office there. Plus, we know based on our research that folks only drive about 10 to 12 minutes to get to their tax office, and most of them decide the day they are going to get their taxes done where they're going to have their taxes done. So it's great to put that iconic person out, that Statue of Liberty waiver on the street, and have them, because that becomes your calling card to the business. And certainly we can't do anything without fantastic franchisees, and that's where you come in. You can be a franchisee in this business. This is an award-winning business. We've won just about every award you can imagine. We've been recognized by the IFA, the International Franchise Association. Entrepreneur Magazine has ranked us in the top 500 franchises across the world for the last 15, 16 years. And we have been recognized by VetFran, Minority Friend, you name it, they have recognized us. So again, this is about taxes and insurance and an additional revenue generator in your business. So what about Liberty Tax Service? I'm sorry, I went backwards. I apologize. What about Liberty Tax Service? Well, we were founded in 1997. We have now 4,000 plus locations across the United States and Canada. We have over 1,500 franchisees. We've done 15 plus million tax returns, and we are ranked in the top 3 tax preparation firms nationwide. So why would you own a Liberty Tax Service? What's the benefit for me, David? Well, experienced leadership, like we've talked about before. Low startup costs. This is a very low-cost opportunity, not just in the tax industry, but across franchising in general. Every year, the Entrepreneur Magazine ranks the top 500 franchisees. franchises, excuse me. And we are always a low-cost franchisee, and that's very hard to find. Less than $70,000 typically gets you in this business, and you can do it cheaper than that. This is a high demand industry. There's always a demand for tax services. Again, 60% of those that paid or that did their taxes last year paid someone to do the tax return for them. Take Dennis, for instance. He just told us that 4,000 returns at $260 or $70 an average return. That's a lot of additional revenue coming into his business. And not only does he have an additional revenue stream, he also has equity in that business. And, you know, whatever business you're in, I don't care if it's insurance or taxes or hamburgers, you have to have an exit strategy. And an exit strategy is what creates wealth and drives people to grow the business, because at some point you need to sell the business. We sell Liberty Tax Services at a multiple of revenue. So if you're an independent, they sell well below your revenue, because typically if it's Bob's tax service, when Bob retires, the tax service goes with him. They want to go find somebody new. This is an opportunity to grow equity and have something that you can sell. Plus, you can keep, it's yours to perpetuity. So if you want to bring your kids in the tax business and family, this is yours to perpetuity. Once we partner up, this is yours to own for life. Great seasonal business. So talk about work-life balance. This is a great work-life balance. The majority of the business, and to get your head wrapped around the tax industry, you need to understand that you're making a full 12 months of money. You're just doing it in 3.5 months. Say the government changed insurance guidelines and they said you could only buy car insurance or health insurance from January 1 to April 15th. Well, if you sell car insurance, now you're going to sell the same amount of policies. You just have to do it between January and April 15th. So all of a sudden, because of a government, change, your work-life balance has changed tremendously. You have the summers off and the fall off. You can go do whatever you want, play golf, go fishing, vacations, whatever. That's what our franchisees enjoy. This is a seasonal business. You make 12 months of money. You do it in 3.5 months. But I have good news for you. It's even better than that. 50 to 70% of your profit in this business occurs within about a 3.5 week season. A 3.5 week season inside that 3.5 months. This is a chance to get in the business and make a lot of money in a very, very short period of time. And there's no experience necessary. You already have the DNA in your system. Franchise ownership options. You can open a new franchise, invest in a Liberty Tax Service location, and we will come and help pick the location with you, and we will help you grow that. You can buy an existing location. We're very happy with the fact that we retain over 90% of our franchisees year over year. That's an amazing number for a franchise our size. We retain over 90% of our franchisees. But, that means we have around 8-9% every year that get out of the business. They either retire, they move. Some of them, quite honestly, should have never been in business for themselves, and they want to sell. But there's an asset there that can be scooped up, typically at a pretty good price, that already has an existing customer base perhaps, but it also has chairs, tables, desks, everything you're going to need to do business is typically there. And now we have what we call a Try Before You Buy program. And that's a unique model allowing you to come in and try it before you buy it. So you can talk to us about that a little bit later. So again, you have the skills necessary. You're already running your own business or you're working for an agent. This is not anything outside of an entrepreneur's scope of reference, and it's not anything new. You take the system, you operate the system. All you have to do is listen, follow the system, and provide excellent customer service. And I can't say that enough because, again, this is about growing clients, retaining clients, and adding referrals and growing equity. So to do that, adding tax services in is a natural extension of what you're already doing. As Dennis said, you're already talking to your customers about the information that's closest to them. It's stuff that's, it's private, and you're helping them with their insurance information. This is taking that and just expanding upon that information and say, hey, we also do taxes now, and we'd love to have a chance just to give you a price. That's how Dennis grew and got those 1,500 clients to come over. So again, this is already in your DNA. It's just taking the step to ownership. So how do you get involved? Again, this is an additional revenue generator that you can put into any insurance office right now. We have a pretty easy process to get involved with. First of all, we want you to talk to us. We want to get to know you a little bit, find out where you are, what the availability is there. We'll ask you to attend a conference call. And once you attend the conference call, we'll ask you to come and visit with us at a discovery day or a tax seminar. And we hold those across the country. As I said before, I get to be the brand evangelist. I'm on a plane almost all summer and all fall, spring too, and I go all across the country. I meet with insurance agents. I meet with prospects from every walk of life, and I get to tell them how they can get involved with Liberty Tax Service. It's an incredibly satisfying opportunity. And once you see the natural extension from insurance to taxes, I think you'll be amazed and talk to some of our franchisees about that. Now, how do you get in contact with David Tarr? We've got our number right there. You can also visit our website. I'm going to keep that up for just a few minutes. And again, you can call that 800 number, visit the website. What we'll do is we'll have one of our representatives give you a call. They'll call, talk to you again, get to know you a little bit, ask you some questions, find out again where you are and kind of what your scenario is. And 9 times out of 10, we can help you move forward into Liberty Tax Service ownership. We are a large franchisor, so we have the ability to be very flexible. And that's a lot of things you don't get with other franchisors, but you can get with somebody our size. We have flexibility on our side. So at Dennis and Williams prompting, they said, hey, put our emails up there as well, because if somebody has a question, we would love to hear from them and love to have them talk to us via email, reach out, and they can get back to you anytime, anywhere. So I'll leave that up for just a second. And I really appreciate the opportunity, and I really appreciate your time. I know everybody's busy. I hope this moved in a swift enough fashion to give you a lot of information and kind of whet your appetite as to how you can add this additional revenue generator to your business. It doesn't hurt. It costs you nothing to pick up the phone and call us and just find out a little bit more. I promise you, once you listen to that conference call, 85% of your questions will be answered, and you will have a very clear understanding of what the opportunity looks like, as a whole, and how you can add it to your existing business. So with that said, I'm going to bring Ashley on the line. Ashley, welcome back. And we're going to go ahead and open it up for Q&A. And after the question and answer session, we have a little bonus for you that I want to talk about. So don't leave us yet if you have a question, and hopefully these questions and answers will help you.
All right, guys, we do have a couple of questions here. The first one is, what kind of error and omissions and or bond would you need to open a franchise?
Error and omissions insurance. A lot of people ask us about that all the time. Because we deal with the lower 80% of wage earners, the IRS only likes to audit people that they think they can get some money out of. And unfortunately for them, the lower 80% of wage earners don't always have that money. So I can probably count on 1 or 2 hands how many audits we had system-wide last year with well over 1.5 million returns. They're just not very many. So what we encourage is our franchisees to self-insure themselves. Don't go out and buy errors and omissions insurance. It'll probably cost you anywhere from $600 to $1,000 a year. And, you don't need it, because if you did make a mistake on somebody's tax return, that's still something they have to pay. We would obviously offer them, a refund for the tax prep fee, certainly as just a customer service input, but you're only responsible for the penalty and interest on that mistake. So if they made $1,000 mistake, the penalty and interest would probably be very, very small. So it's much easier to self-insure yourself for errors and omissions than to buy the policy. Plus, every tax return that's done in the Liberty system is checked electronically 3 times, and it's checked by, typically, I check at least once, if not twice in the office, by the preparer and then by the back office processor. So we catch things like Social Security numbers wrong or birth dates wrong, things like that, because we have the documentation. That person in the back goes through and processes each return. They double check all that critical information. So errors and omissions is not something that's prevalent in the Liberty tax industry, Liberty tax system, excuse me, and certainly not something that we think is a value to go and buy.
Okay, good. That's good to know. Now, have you run into any legal issues having a tax office inside of an insurance office?
Not that I know of. I've been doing this 13 plus years, and we have insurance agents across the country that have Liberty Taxes in their office, and I don't know of anything. Dennis or William, are you aware of anything from your standpoint as far as legal issues?
I've never heard anybody talk about it.
Myself
Yeah,
either.
There's very few things that kind of spark the interest of the IRS. The only things I know you can't do is you can't do liquor. You can't have liquor in your office, which I'm hoping nobody would have in their insurance agency. So certainly we couldn't have it in the tax office. And you can't check cash checks or anything like that in the office. That is something that would be prohibited. But other than that, I've never heard of anything to stop anyone from having insurance or tax in their insurance office.
Okay, good to know. Now, if I opened a franchise, where would I find the tax agents, or would I train my current employees?
Well, that's a great question. It could go either way. What we would suggest to you is take a current employee, somebody who you trust and has great customer service skills, and train that person. Again, the person doesn't need to have any tax experience whatsoever, which I know sounds very scary to you, but again, keep in mind that the tax software that we employ, which is proprietary software that John actually helped develop, John Hewitt, does 99.9% of the work. All you need is that person there to provide great customer service, and be there as that customer service person, that personality. We always tell people, hire for attitude, train for aptitude. And that's really the key here, is that you take that person who's great with clients and set them down with the tax customers, because it's really the personality that the person connects with. And once they make that connection, they want to come back next year and connect with that same person, which again is where that, additional services and being able to retain clients comes in. Because once you get them for a tax customer, they want to come back and use you again if you provide them great customer service. Second part of that, actually, excuse me, you said, or can we go look? You can certainly hire tax preparers. Very easy. We train you how to do it. And you could run a tax class like our franchisees do, just like H&R Block does, just like Jackson Hewitt does. You run a tax class. Again, we train you how to do all of that. You yourself don't have to do it. We tell you where to get the resource to do the training, and we provide the curriculum. But in a great many cases, you already have that person sitting in your office right now. If you didn't, I think just by word of mouth and your friend network, I think you'd be able to find somebody very quickly who had the personality to take on the role. And again, we're not talking about paying somebody hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. This is an office employee at $10 an hour who's doing tax returns, and you offer them a bonus on the business they write at the end of the year, and you pay a little bonus out at the end of the year. So if they're great, I mean, if they're phenomenal, they might make, $5,000 or $6,000 during the tax season. So it certainly keeps the overhead, again, very, very low.
Okay, wow, that was great. Definitely makes it seem like it's pretty easy to do. So the next question we have here is, does the insurance agent have to work out of a storefront office? I mean, what if they have their agency from their home?
Well, if you have an agency in your home, it is a little bit more difficult because I always ask people, how many hundreds of people do you want sitting in your living room each tax season? Because this is, about a volume of business coming in. This isn't, don't go in this business to do 10 tax returns. You could do something else to do that. This is about having hopefully hundreds of clients come into you and have their taxes done. So it really works best out of a storefront. Home office is a real tough one for us because, again, you have to be in a retail area or at least a setting where you're on a main road or a feeder road off a main road where you can be, do some advertising, put your sign out, and people can see that. That's really what draws the business toward us.
Okay. The next question here is, if we own a franchise, will Liberty be able to support that person's effort in obtaining small business tax clients?
Yeah, Dennis, would you like to take that one?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
If we own a franchise, will Liberty be able to support their effort in obtaining obtaining small business tax clients?
Will Liberty be able to assist you in obtaining tax clients?
Small businesses.
Oh, yes.
To do small business
that's
tax.
what we're doing right now. My agency, we're looking through our clients to see what forms we filed for them to identify the commercial customer, and we are actively working with those customers right now. So all the information that you gather doing a tax return, you can sort it and use it to target market pretty much any segment of the population.
Okay, perfect. That's actually all of the questions that we have for today.
Excellent. Well, like I said, we have a bonus for you for attending the webinar today. We're going to send you out a free prospective franchisee assessment. It's a little test that you can take. I don't think it's more than 25 or 30 questions. Won't take you but a few minutes to fill it out. But look for that. Take that quiz and again, reach out to us. And we want to hear from you. We want to find out if we're a good fit for each other. Again, I thank you so much for taking your time. I know everybody's time is valuable. We certainly appreciate it. We were so blessed to have your time here today. I want to thank our guests again, Emily Holbrook, Dennis Pryor, and William Daniels. Thank you so much for taking your time and sharing with the agents on the line with us today. Again, we're very happy to be working with the INN. And again, if you haven't seen the article in the magazine, go and take a look at it. And again, give us a call. Let us know how we can help you, and we'd be happy to take anybody through this process and tell you more, share with you more about Liberty Tax Service. So I appreciate your time. Have a great afternoon, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.